Welcome to the Eye of Power podcast. I'm your host, Tom Dardick. But this podcast is not about me. It's about you and your power. It's time to claim yours. Today on the Eye of Power podcast, I want to do something basically a lot different than I've ever done before. First of all, it's just going to be me. I don't have a guest this week. And in previous episodes, when it's just me, I've done audio only. So I have not done a video message like I'm doing right now. But I want to try something new because I feel like it's a new day for me and for the Mentor Machine. And if you haven't seen previous episodes, the Mentor Machine is a brand new product and a company that's being born around that product that incorporates the Eye of Power. So in a lot of the work in the Mentor Machine, we use the Eye of Power. We don't explain the Eye of Power to the people that are using the Mentor Machine other than to use it as a map and a prompt to inspire them to take actions that move them in a healthy direction. And when you do that as a team, you get these dynamics that emerge. You create people that really understand how to mentor. They've accomplished something that matters, that people say, okay, this person he has some things or she has some things that I would like. So they're apt to listen, that the person also understands that the currencies that matter to them as a person aren't necessarily the same as the person they're trying to help. So they have the ability to keep score, so to speak, in the currencies of the other person. And also they understand enough about human nature to help somebody off the sandbar when they're stuck. So that's what we mean when we call a certified mentor, and that's what the Mentor Machine is designed to produce in organizations. And the more certified mentors an organization has, the more the healthy the organization is going to function, and the more that the organization will thrive. So that's the basic idea. But I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to talk to you specifically about what that might mean. And just kind of picture yourself. Let's just say you're a manager. Perhaps you are in HR, you run HR at whatever level. If you're already there, it's you. But if it's not you, then you can picture yourself at whatever scope, size, organization, number of people that you're in a position to affect that's comfortable to you. And what I want you to think about is, how do you help the people in your organization? What could you do that will not make just a little bit of a difference, but make a transformative difference that'll truly change the culture in the organization, whereby it's not just sort of transactional, which is a lot of the setting in many organizations. The default setting in the workplace really is, if you think about it, it really is, you've got these set of skills. It's worth X amount of money in the workplace. I pay you that money, you give me those skills. End of story. Uh, and then since we're human beings, it doesn't just stop there, right? Because we're working together, we have relationships. Those relationships have dynamics to them, and those dynamics both serve us and limit us. Because again, we are humans and we have frailties and we have limited perceptive powers. We do the best we know how, but unfortunately, compared to what there is to know, that set is always very small. So I just want to walk you through a little bit of maybe a vision exercise here today in this episode. What I want to talk about is what could you possibly do to move the needle in the organization from one where it's that transactional, maybe sibling rivalry, we're vying for position, we care about our own uh, welfare and our own career track, and if somebody else gets the promotion that I kind of wanted, okay, I'm happy for them, kind of, but perhaps not really. I wanted it myself. And then there's some envy or jealousy or a little bit of negatives in our feelings. And that's not just contained to me, that also is sensed by others. And these sorts of negative feelings sort of seep out. And if you're in an organization of any size, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Where we're rooting for others for the most part, kind of. Um, we don't want to make people mad because we know how they'll react. We don't want to upset people, perhaps with greater authority, because they could hold it against us. So we also don't want to hurt our own track by sharing something that might be seen as foolish, stupid, ill-considered, something like that. So we have all of these sort of limiting emotions that we all feel. You're not the only one. Everybody feels these things. And what do? Well, they tend to suppress our creativity, our expression, our authenticity in terms of what we really think. So now everything goes through filters. And what are the casualties when this happens? The casualties tend to be trust, because if I don't trust myself to be open, why would I trust anybody else to be open? Why would I think that they truly have my interests at heart when I can see clearly that they're looking out to make sure they don't get fired, or that they have a better chance of that promotion, or that it fills out their resume to fill their larger aims? And all of those dynamics hurt trust. And so, how do you get out of that? How do you build trust? Because when you look at thriving cultures, when you look at the best places to work, one of the things that you see is that there's a lot of trust. Well, there's another thing that goes along with that, and that's respect. And so, I want to talk a little bit about respect right now, too, because what do we mean by respect? Well, respect is something we often think of as earned, or something that we either give or we don't give based on deeds or accomplishments or how somebody treats us, all those sorts of things. In other words, we have a transactional attitude towards respect. And what I'd like you to consider today as we talk this through is perhaps moving in a different direction as to what we mean by respect. Perhaps we talk about respect as a way to uh, see and acknowledge the divine nature in other human beings, in the people around us. What does that mean? That means that when you peel all the layers away, all those layers of personality, of protection, of defense against hurts that make up our human psychology, the quirks that people have that we either are amused by or annoyed by, the things they did to us, the things they do for us. All of those things go into our calculus, and we decide, okay, this person is worthy of our respect or not worthy of our respect. And what I'm saying is, all of that is uh, like a crusty layer. And underneath that layer, there's something more. And what is that more? And that's what I'm saying, the divine nature. I'm saying that spark, that thing, that authentic self that's in every single person that represents the picture of their unique gifts, the things that they can do that really, if you think about it, no one else can. What I mean by that is they might not be the smartest. You might not be the smartest. You might be smart. You might not. You might not be the best looking, the most charming, the fastest, the most experienced, whatever metric you want to choose for comparison. But there's some combination of attributes, some combination that is of value to other people, that is uniquely yours. And every person has that. And we all are so different in this way, yet we're uniquely the same. What I mean by that is that we all generally want the same things in different proportions for different reasons. But we generally want the same things. We generally want the best for other people. We're generally not trying to hurt somebody. We're generally trying to do our best. We don't intentionally harm our children or our spouses or our significant others. We do it because we didn't know any better. We didn't know how not to. And so that grace that's required to get past those potential harms and real harms to the juicy center in the middle, What I don't know of a better way to describe it than that divine nature, that spark of gifts, of giving, of how we contribute to other people in our unique way. That's what I'm pointing to. Uh, that part of being sort of made in the image of God, to use a biblical concept. Uh, when we align to see that, and when we resign ourselves to see that, acknowledge it, and respect that, and this is getting back to the word respect. When we respect that, what does respect mean? It means to see and value, to honor, right? To acknowledge. Um, that is the path forward. That's the path towards trust. That's the path out of the transactional, out of the jockeying for position, those sorts of dynamics that emerge in all organizations, toward the higher place where we can actually be open, where we can be ourselves and we can trust and we can take more chances. We can play more. We can discover more. We can explore more. We can be more just real with each other and feel more connected, feel more seen. And ultimately, that's what we want, isn't it? I mean, think about it yourself. You're in that position. You're running HR. Maybe you feel right now that you're not seen. You're you feel like people only treat you as the role you're in, not the person you are. They expect you to provide whatever it is that the conventions are that dictate at their request. And when you do, they're happy, and when they don't, they're mad. And they're not really seeing you, they're seeing the role that you fulfill. Think of a new day. Think of the day where it's not like that, where they see you, they see how you don't just respond to their need, you actually see them for who they are and consider who they are as a person and go out of your way to accommodate whatever that might be. You know that person was passed over a couple of times, let's say, or they've achieved and people are looking at them askance. And as a result, you're able to coach them or at least give them guidance that perhaps allows them to make a better path through their professional day and their professional week, their professional month. You also have the ability, when you see them for who they are, see that divine spark in them, they start to feel seen. Now they have a sense of connection and a sense of belonging to you, to others in the organization. And you've inspired that to happen with other people too. So now that sense of belonging makes it so that people are no longer thinking, well, I can just get a paycheck somewhere else, or I can get a better job somewhere else, or somewhere else is going to be better because they have a better break room or better compensation package in some way. I get 2 more extra days off a year or something along those lines, transactional. But you're seeing it more as the experiential. Why would I leave this? I'm connected. These are my people. They see me. I see them. That kind of day. So I'm saying all of this. I'm trying to get you to feel how that might feel. Think of that, because the truth of the matter is it is possible. We can get there. It's not, there's no magic wand. I'm sorry to burst that bubble. There's not something that we can just immediately start doing differently, and or this magic ingredient that we can add and all of a sudden it's, aha, everybody sees each other and we're in this respectful, trustful, wonderful culture. If it worked that way, as soon as I find that out, I'll let you know, I promise. No, the path towards that does exist though, and it can happen quicker than you might think. And that path is through the small action steps that people take with support in the healthy direction. And that's essentially what the mentor machine is. And that's what it's a system that you can embrace and install to just provide that gravitational pull, knowing that some people will walk that path and some people, well, everybody will stumble. Some people may fall off the path. They're not necessarily ready for it. That's why we don't throw everybody into the um, system at once. We do it in waves. We do it in cohorts. You do it together with people. But as you bring this in, and as you are the person, the go-to person that is responsible for making these incremental changes for people, you become the locus of support and of the place where people feel like, okay, this is safe. I can talk to you. I can talk. I can be open with you. You can help people move along, and you can feel those connections, and you can see the net result, how all of a sudden there's fewer complaints. Those enmities, those natural things that happen between departments or personalities, all of a sudden they're not as bad as they used to be. We don't escalate as much. They are able to resolve themselves before they get to be this big, huge blow up where we have to have write ups and things like that. We get to see more cooperation. You get to see some new ideas emerge that didn't emerge before, and they're given a little bit of sunshine and a little bit of space to try. And you're starting to see new relationships. You're not only see them and witness them, but be part of them. And now the people around you are seeing you as one of the primary drivers of these really universal improvements that everybody's experiencing. And now you're the one who's getting to be seen more as the person contributing in the way that only you can. And wow, what a feeling that is. And you might have heard me speak about this before, but I want to take just a moment as we wrap to point to what that feeling is. It's a kind of fulfillment, right? It's a fulfillment that comes from really contributing in the way that only you can. You've recognized your gifts, you've cultivated them, you've developed them, you've looked for and found ways that you can put your empathy, your insights, your experiences, the way that you explain things, the way that you see people, the way that you make them feel because of your experiences and theirs. And when they see all those things together and that feeling of being seen, it feels, we use a word fulfillment, but in the workplace, and the special kind of fulfillment that comes from doing this in only the way you can, the word we use in the mentor machine is called Alvea, Alvea, Alvea. And so that's what I want you to consider, learning to both develop more Alvea for yourself as you help others do the same. And if you think about an organization where you have this deep fulfillment of people that are really seeing each other, appreciating each other, have that exploration playful because of the deep trust and respect that's getting stronger day by day. Think about what that might be like. Think about how that might be as an experience, as a place to go. Because if you think about the best moments that you've ever had in your life, if you're anything like me, you might remember things like you had great conversation, deep conversation. You were able to go deeper, faster. You were able to really see almost like soul to soul. And could you imagine experiencing that on a more day by day basis and you're really doing it, and it's a whole group of people that are doing that same thing together. That's the kind of future that it's possible for you to manifest. And if any of this makes any sense to you at all, if you're feeling me at all, I want to just invite you to reach out, because that means that you're my kind of person. You're the kind of person that I really, really want to get to know and talk more on. And whether not more on, more about, more with. uh, but uh, I really, really want that conversation. I really want to know you. I really want to just kind of see you in that way. So that's my invitation. I'll wrap it up there. This is sort of a new, if you've watched the Eye of Power podcast, this is unlike any others. And it's a little bit of a play, a little bit of an exploration, a little bit of an experiment for me. But as I'm talking to you right now, and as I wrap this up, I'm going to say it feels pretty good. And I'm hoping you're feeling me on that. And I hope that we can really talk soul to soul. So thank you very much for listening to me. Until next time, I wish you all the best, and I wish you Alvea. This has been the Eye of Power podcast with Tom Dardick. I'd like to thank you for listening.
I'd also like to thank my brother Scott Dardick for the music and his music production. If you'd like to reach me, simply email Tom at dardickcommunications.com